Across the ring.
The counter punch.
All right, back like we never left because we never did leave. You got your boy Love1orHate1 and your boy Gil is in the building, and we finna cook on some real boxing. You guys already know how we get down, man. We finna cook. We got this Dave Morrell versus David Benavidez fight coming up, man, and so excited about seeing this fight. But I'm gonna let you guys know this. I pretty much broke this down, and you guys know who I got in this fight. I got Dave Morrell winning for great reasoning, though. But I'm not gonna even lie, man. I had a dream last night, bro, that fucking David Benavidez clipped his ass, bro. But I don't want all the Benavidez fans out there to get happy because I had a dream that Deontay Wilder clipped Tyson Fury in the rematch, and Tyson Fury was the one that clipped him in the rematch. So a dream is just a dream, but I was like, damn, I'm glad that didn't happen, though. But, you know, me just going off what I feel about the fight, the reason I got Dave Morrell, I personally feel like he has more tools than David Benavidez. And I'm sticking to that. A lot of people want to say, I hear some people out there saying David Benavidez got more tools, and I don't see how. Because one thing I know about Morrell, he can fight on the front foot and the back foot. He has speed, he has power, he has decent defense. You know, I'm not gonna say it's the best, but he has decent defense. He's not flat-footed like Pitfall Benavidez, and he just has a lot of tools, man. He has experience, but he don't have experience like that on the main stage. But I will say this, though. I feel like he don't have experience as much as David Benavidez on the main stage, of course. But like I said, in his last fight, when he was on the undercard, on the Crawford undercard, he literally fought on that was a big card. I mean, he wasn't the main event, but that was a big card. He did fight in front of a lot of people in his last fight at 175. And a lot of people was interested in seeing that fight. So with that being said, man, I like I said, I do not feel like he has the experience of David Benavidez, but I don't feel like he's inexperienced like most people was thinking. Like they want to make it seem like he's never seen a big stage before, but he did in his last fight. He just wasn't the main event. But like I said, I'm sticking to my guns. I got David Morrell winning this fight. I know I'm a minority. I know he's the underdog. But, hey, I think he has what it takes to beat David Benavidez. And that large amateur pedigree that he has on the side. I know for a fact that David Benavidez is not going to bring anything new that David Morrell hasn't seen yet, because when you have a large amateur pedigree like that, you've seen damn near every style. So that come forward style and throw a lot of punches, I'm quite sure he's seen that before. Now, don't get me wrong. One thing, it's two things I'm worried about in this fight. If it's a close fight, they're going to give it to Benavidez because they still want to make the Canelo fight. You know, Benavidez is the more marketable fighter right now, etc. But, hey, and another thing I'm worried about is I was watching an interview with Greg Hackett, my boy. You know, he knows his boxing too. And he made a good point, man. He said, you know, I think Dave Morrell is going to do good for the first 6, maybe even 7 rounds. But I think, you know, after the 7th, you know, in the lateral parts of the fight, he said it's going to get dark for him. Like, it's going to get dark for Dave Morrell. And that kind of made me nervous a little bit. But I just got faith, and I'm sticking to my guns. I think Dave Morrell is going to show people, and he's going to give us a lot of answers in this fight. Talk to your boy, Gil.
Pressure busts pipes or makes diamonds, and we're about to find out which one can actually get the diamonds, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
To me, it's gonna be interesting because, like you said off air, Benavidez doesn't really have power, and he's already making excuses, bro. So, to me, it's gonna be who can get their combinations off and who could counter. I think Morrell could counter better, and he could move, so it makes it difficult, you know?
Agreed. And I feel like, and I said this yesterday off air as well. Pitfall Benavidez, when it comes down to his power, man, he number one, he don't really sit on his punches like that. I'm not saying he's pillow fisted, but if you really think about it, like, okay, a lot of people want to say, David Benavidez didn't stop Caleb Plant because Caleb Plant was holding. And I keep trying to tell people, he was still landing flush punches on Caleb's chin, and Caleb didn't go nowhere at all. So when people say, oh, he was holding, that's kind of like an excuse to me because he was still getting caught. I'm talking about flush on the chin, and Caleb Plant was eating that. And if you think about it, okay, Benavidez stopped, what's his name? He stopped Andre, right? But
yeah,
that was more like accumulation of punches, and I could show you the proof. I don't know if you remember, I made a video saying this. He quit in that fight. He said no mas. He didn't want no more. So I personally feel like the size of Benavidez too. Another thing is too, this is the first.
Let's remember, Benavidez was at 168 in that fight too. It's a different weight division, and it's different variables.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not the same because at 175, we've only seen him in one fight at 175. So we're about to find out more about him, and I don't think he has that power to affect Morrell like that.
Oh, hell no. I don't think so. I personally feel like unless Morrell gets tired, I don't see him stopping David Morrell. But I will say this though, and we talked about this yesterday too. This is the only time I've seen somebody legitimately look bigger than David Benavidez. Every time he fights, I'm like, damn, this guy is towering over this guy. Height-wise and size-wise. This is the only time I've seen him like face somebody his own size. Like, or bigger. So I think that's going to play a factor too, man. Like, for real, for real. So, man, any more thoughts on it though? I mean,
if David Benavidez isn't careful, he's gonna get countered. He's gonna get knocked out, bro. I've seen it. He gets countered a lot, and we've seen journeymen put him down. So let's be ready for that too.
Yep, man. And let's not forget, Caleb Plant I thought Caleb Plant won the first 5 to 6 rounds against David Benavidez. And another thing I will tell you guys is this too. The difference between Caleb Plant and Dave Morrell is, number one, Dave Morrell is bigger than Caleb Plant. Number two is, if David Morrell catches you flush, he can knock you out with one punch. So I really feel like Benavidez, he's gonna really have to show us he has a chin in this fight. He's gonna have to show us that. That's number one. And number two, he's gonna have to. I feel like in order to beat David Morrell, you're gonna have to show us something we haven't seen yet. He's gonna have to really go into another gear, and I don't know if he can do that. But I got David Morrell winning the fight. I'm sticking to my guns. You know, you rolling with Morrell or Benavidez?
I'm rolling with Morrell, dude. I think Morrell has more, like you say, he has more tools in the toolbox. And I don't think he looked as tired as Benavidez did against Vazdik. So that could play a part in it too.
That's a good point, because he did look tired in the last 4 to 5 rounds. He definitely looked tired versus Vazdik, and yeah, if he gets tired versus Dave Morrell, it could be a wrap for him. But another thing I forgot to bring up too, I feel like Morrell, he's in David Benavidez's head. The push, like that, when he pushed him, that showed you he lost his cool. And I personally feel like he's going to come in this fight with his emotions on the line, trying to stop David Morrell. And man, David Morrell can capitalize off that. A good fighter can capitalize off a fighter fighting off their emotions. And hey, man, you know, and a lot of people want to say, oh, but David Morrell last fight, he didn't look good. Shit, Benavidez didn't look good neither. Another thing is too, and I said this yesterday, I really hope David Morrell came into his last fight and look like that on purpose to try to lure Benavidez into a fight, because the whole world knows if Dave Morrell would have won in that fight and blasted that guy, we would not be seeing that fight next. And that's my final thoughts on it.
I agree wholeheartedly.